please, 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 please never give up. Whatever you do in life, never give up. If there's something you're doing right now, at least finish it. Don't give up, just finish it and then change your mind about it or something along those lines. Whatever it may be, just finish it at least. Don't give up. And today I'm going to be telling you guys a story that happened actually this past week on Sunday. Today's Wednesday for reference. So not too long ago, I had an exam. I had a midterm. And midterm season this year compared to last year has been a completely different shift for me. It's definitely significantly harder, and I'm definitely seeing that as I go into my last midterm this Saturday. I just had one today. That was that terrible. But I don't even want to like badmouth the teacher. But essentially, last Sunday, I had an exam. And I studied. I was really prepared for it. There was one section that I didn't feel the most confident in it, but I knew that because of part marks, I could do overall really good on the exam. And the exam came, and I wasn't like too nervous when I entered the exam room. I was feeling okay, and yeah, everything was fine. And then I got the exam paper. And I started off with the first question. There was 3 questions for reference. The third question had 2 parts. So you kind of understand how big the midterm is. Not too bad. You have 2 hours for it. Reasonable time. Anyway, I started with the first question, and it wasn't too bad. I was almost near finishing it, but then there was one part that I just didn't like. I was confused. I was like, wait, I don't know how to do this because looking at my graph, this doesn't make sense. So I thought that I made a mistake earlier on, and I was like, interesting. Let me skip it for now. I went to the second question. The second question was on the section that I didn't feel too comfortable with. I'm looking at it, and I'm like, okay. The teacher could have picked any sort of question for the section, and they went with the hardest type of question that was possible for a section. Like there's different examples for a section. It was basically like algebraic formulation, and they could have done, a finance algebraic formulation. They could have done this. They picked the hardest one, literally the longest example that we did in class. Either way, I could have been a little more prepared for it. But the point is, I was like, okay, this is not fun. Let me skip it. And I go into the third question, which was worth 49 points, I believe. It was the longest question, or like the question worth the most points, but it also was like not really that hard. I studied for it, but I knew going into the exam that it wasn't gonna be that bad, and I was like, okay, let me just finish this easy. The first part was like algebraic formulation as well, and I was like, okay, well, I don't really want to do this, so let me do the second part, which was like analysis and stuff. So just writing, and I feel like for math courses, whenever you get to write, it's actually kind of a relief because it's just so much easier. And there was one part where you were given a solution and different information, and you basically had to fill in certain values. It was A, B, C, and D, and you had to say, okay, A is 400, this is Y. And I started doing it, and I just couldn't figure out the values. And the thing is, for the second part of question 3, you needed those values to then answer a few amount of questions. And I was like, I don't know how to get these values. And at that moment, for the next 2 to 3 minutes, in my head, I was completely lost. I was like, no way this is happening. There's actually no way I'm about to fail this. I knew this class was hard going into it. Everyone online said it was hard. One of my friends actually said it was really easy. That's why I picked it and put it onto this semester. But I mean, overall, it's not bad. Like, you know what I mean? Some people are going to find it easier. Some are not. It's logic based, so it makes sense why people struggle with it. But I was like, there's no way I'm going to fail this. And in my head, I was mentally cooked. Like, I know that vocabulary is bad. I don't want to say mentally cooked, but it was bad. Like, I was like, there is no way. I'm going to have to take this in the summer, or I'm going to have to do this and that. I was genuinely considering dropping the course and just retaking it next semester or in the summer, because I was like, wow, I just can't figure this out. There's no way that the easiest question, 49 points, and I can't even do it. I'm going to fail it. Like, I'm literally going to fail it. Even if I did both of the first two questions perfect, I'm going to fail. Okay, that's actually not how it works mathematically, but you get the point. I wasn't going to get 51 on the first two questions. So I was like, there's no way I'm going to fail this. So then I was like, okay, instead of thinking about this, let me just go on to the first question again and let me just do my best. Instead of giving up already, let me just go on into it. And the thing is, too, by this point, 30 minutes have passed and I haven't answered not one question fully. And my plan going into it was, because I knew what the type of 3 questions were, my goal going into it was that the first and last question would have been answered within an hour. I was giving myself 30 minutes. I really thought I could have been able to do it in 30 minutes. That did not turn out that way. And then the last question, the second question, or like last question, I could give myself an hour, just because it's not that it would take an hour, but I could just really think. And it's been 30 minutes. And I'm like, wow, that's bad. So I just decided, instead of thinking all these negative things, let me just go back onto the first question. Let me now go from question to question and just answer it completely and then go on to the next. So I went back to the first question and I finished it. Do I think I got 100% on that question? Maybe not. Maybe I made a mistake. But at least I finished it and I feel pretty good about it. So that was done. That question done. I went to the second question. That was the most uncomfortable question, and it was just, it was worth 23 points, I think. At best, maybe 17, 18 points if I was really correct. I think I probably got some things wrong, but I can rely on part marks. So, maybe at least 10 points. I don't know, just difficult question, but that's okay. Third question, I went back to the second part of it, and what I realized was, to get these points, like A, B, C, D, E, I was looking at 2 pages, but there's a third page I forgot about. And I was like, now it makes sense why I couldn't get the values. Because I was looking at this table, and then I was able to get all the values. I was able to get A to, I think it was like F or G. And I was like, okay, now we're talking. I can actually do it. I finished it. Easy. That was 24. That was literally worth 24 points. I finished that. And then I did the second part of B, where I answered those questions based off those values. Easy. That's like 40 points or something right there. And I was feeling good. I was like, okay, that wasn't too bad. Like, wow, it's good I didn't give up. That clearly. And then I did the third question, part 8, which it was okay. Nothing special. I just didn't really want to start with that. And I finished. And I think I finished, given the 2-hour time, I finished maybe a minute or 2 early. Or that's when I was basically like, okay, I'm just going to go and give my test to the proctors. And overall, I think at best case scenario, maybe a low 90, mid 80. Worst case scenario, probably a 60-ish. But I think realistically, worst case scenario, like a 70. And then I will likely get a mid 80, I think. And yeah, I mean, whatever happens, happens. But the point was, and the whole premise of the story is, please don't give up. I know this story might sound stupid to some people, and then some other people might be like, oh, yeah, you make a great point. But like, literally, it's hard to explain something that I felt and I can't express to anyone else, even through words. It's hard to express because I was feeling things. I was really about to give up. I was literally thinking like, oh, wow, I can't even answer these questions. Like, what's the point of being here? But guess what? Instead of just thinking all those things, at least I finished it. I finished all the questions and I answered them to my best capabilities. And it will likely turn out that I did pretty okay. Maybe I didn't do as well as I wanted to do, but I definitely didn't fail. So, as I said, please don't give up. Never give up. Please, if you start something, please see it to the end. And just for the love of God, don't worry too much. I know I sometimes don't take my own advice on these things that I say, but everything will be better in the future. If right now you're struggling, you're going through a lot, for example, me for the past week, I've been going through it. Monday, I had a very emotional day, and luckily enough, I was able to talk to my mom, and she really made me feel significantly better. But it was a really hard day for me. It was just very emotional. And I don't want to get too much into it right now, maybe in another video later on. But yeah, thank God for my mom. And the point is, there's going to be moments in the future for me and for you guys where you feel like giving up, you feel like taking the easy route, but you don't have the right. I'm going to be honest, you don't have the right to take the easy route. You have to work your ass off and just do it. At least finish what you already started. You don't have to start another thing, but if you started something, finish it. Don't give up on it. Please. Peace.